down to 1306. We're starting off this year with Cassandra and her family, how it goes for her, trying to break the news to her father that she accepted Osbert's proposal, that she really thinks that they're going to have a future together, and trying to get his blessing. We already know from the interaction between Cassandra and Osbert's parents that he is against the match, but even hearing what his daughter has to say, he clearly has put his foot down. It's not going to work in his mind, and he's telling her that if she goes through with this marriage, that she is disowned, she is no longer part of the Goth family. She will get her dowry and nothing else from them. She's still going to go through with it, so she grabbed her lute and started to run off, stopped by her brother, Alexander. So he's calling her back. She's upset, thinking that he's going to try to change her mind or not let her go, but he just wanted to wish her well and let her know that even though she's not part of the official family anymore, he will still help her if anything's really needed. So she went straight to Osbert's house, hoping to find comfort and reassurance that she made the right decision. So he got up and told her, "Yes, I'm excited. I can't believe that we're going to do this. You will always have a home here. Don't worry about them kicking you out." So then, after having that conversation, they decided to go ahead and just officially consider themselves married. Not worry about having a ceremony or getting people pulled together, since obviously her family wouldn't be attending and it's his second marriage. They cared more about it becoming official in the eyes of the community and the watcher. So they're considering that the family members being in the house are witness enough, and that as long as they consummate the marriage afterwards, it will be official. Yep, so they really do officially have witnesses that their marriage is valid. And I love that everyone's just going about their day. Nothing to see here, folks. So right away, Cassandra got to work being part of the household and helping on the farm, gathering eggs, feeding chickens, making sure that she is contributing and getting used to a new life in which she's more active and more useful around the home. Tobias, he's responsible for Daisy, so has to come check on her, make sure she's fed. And then he's going to go about his chores. Hugo and Ida went to check on Tobias and see how he was doing. And while she greeted him at first, he clearly was irresponsible and leaving things on the ground, so she's chastising him. And he's going to have to go and clean up his mess. So she's happy he agreed. And all of them heading off into town to play some games and hang out together to celebrate the wedding and the addition to their family of Cassandra. Well, everyone except for Tobias. He gets to stay home, but it looks like he's learning to be a little bit more responsible, taking care of the dishes himself. As soon as they come back, Ida's getting right to work with the laundry. And then they had a surprise visitor. Rohan came to visit. Not really sure what the motive would be, except maybe he heard the gossip that Cassandra Goth had married down, was curious if that was really true, so he came and sat and talked with her, learned that she did indeed decide to move forward with the wedding, and that now she is part of the Walter household. So while he was visiting, she decided to practice playing her music a little bit because while she loves music, she is not good at it yet. But that's okay, because she can learn to play better over time. Everyone else hanging out and talking. Osbert not even caring that they have a guest and deciding to take a nap. With it being winter and cold outside, there's definitely not as much for them to have to do or run around and do. This is kind of their downtime, get to spend a lot of their day indoors with one another, hanging out, chatting. Eventually there will be more indoor activities, but at this point in time, they don't really have a whole lot that they can work on in the middle of winter. But Cassandra making sure that she gets along with everyone right off the bat, and she's doing well with Tobias. So hopefully that, foreshadows that she'll be a good mom herself and that we'll have some future children for our heir. She's bringing a lot more life and energy back into the household, for sure. And as everyone else is finished, Cassandra is hanging back to listen to Tobias's story and make sure that he feels heard. Over in the Wood household, we have Max's child role to do, so we will go ahead and knock that out after he gets a bath so that we don't end up with any accidental, permanent green cloud of stink forever. And while Max gets his bath with Arnold, Beatrice is hanging out with sweet little Rosa. They're definitely enjoying time together. I feel like she's talking to her about, or telling her calm stories. As she's getting a little bit antsy and wiggly, Beatrice is going to think about other ways that she can spend time with her that might suit Rosa's needs at the moment. A little bit of tummy time and playing on the floor instead of forcing her to be used to being held is the way that she ended up deciding to go.
Numbers we are
Arnold
trying to avoid 3, 9,
C as well.
and 19. So let's
And
see.
as we're letting that happen, we'll go ahead and do
We
Max's
got
role.
a 15. We get to see Max grow up into a child.
And now that we have Max having entered childhood, he's gonna help clean up the mess that he made when he was younger. Rosa needs to go to bed, and then Arnold going to chat with Max, tell him, hey, you also need to head to bed. Let's go ahead and get you tucked in. And it looks like he immediately falls asleep. Now that the children have both been asleep for a minute, Arnold decided that he would like to request Beatrice's company for the evening, and she agrees. At the Mannering household, it is early in the morning, Alma having a little bit of a snack, light breakfast. She is contemplating what it's going to be like as she rapidly approaches time to have her next baby, hoping that everything goes better than it has in the past. Aww. And she decided, reflecting on the upcoming birth, to go see all of her deceased children's headstones and think about them and mourn them. Where she's going, that's as good a guess for you as I have. There is nothing out by where they are that she could be going to do that I'm aware of. But she has decided to head out into the wilderness on her own when she is about to go into labor at any moment in order to make a snow angel. Like, I didn't realize that Alma had a childish, playful, irresponsible side to her. But clearly she does, because she is out in the middle of the cold winter night instead of at home being safe and preparing for birth. She even went and fell asleep on a bench rather than go home. I don't know that her husband even knows where she is.
All right,
if something were to happen.
Alma has to avoid.
It looks like she was woken up by labor
or
pains,
11.
so it's time to rush back and have
She
the
got a 12.
baby. We
She's
have a
still
little
with us.
girl named Madeline.
Madeline.
Let's
has a
go
lot
ahead and
to
do
avoid.
Alma
1,
and Madeline's
5,
roles.
7, 10, 12, 15, 17, and 20.
She gets to stay with us. That's exciting.
Fascinoy. Uiba. Quimba. Oh, molobide. Polino.
Looks like afterwards, Milo is so excited and happy that everything went well, telling Alma how much he loves her. In our main household, everyone is preparing throughout the day for Christmas, which will be tomorrow. And, oh my goodness, Cassandra is already showing. It's only been a day. She got pregnant the very first time that they even woohooed. And what Ida and Hugo are just still having fun with one another as well. They don't care that their sons are right there outside of the barn. But I will say, between Osbert and Sybil and Ida and Hugo, that barn has seen some things. Cassandra is going to make the decision to tell Osbert, like, hey, I have something to tell you. We're going to have a baby. And he ends up being very excited about it. And she'll ask him, like, hey, have you given any thought to, like, what names you would want? I really want to make sure that our first child, we both agree on it. And so he had a couple in mind that he would love to use. After that, Cassandra is going to go and prep up some food and all the ingredients to make sure that they have plenty of options for the big family meal tomorrow. And their plan is to invite everybody over and just have a big gathering and appreciate the season and who all is still with us at this point in time. So Cassandra prepping up the flour, making butter, and she is not naturally very good in the kitchen at this point. I guess it would make sense that she wasn't raised in a manner to know how to do all of these things. Her family would have expected her to marry up, or at least equal, and probably had servants handling the kitchen work for her. But she's trying. She's even staying up after everybody else is going to bed to try and prep for Christmas and really be a positive addition to the family. Oh, she looks so proud of herself. And she overstoked the fire. Seriously, you guys, you have to stop setting your house on fire. A big chunk of Cassandra's dowry is now going to have to go to replacing that stove yet again, even though originally my plan for it was to try and, once they were caught up on taxes, prep to expand the house as we hopefully get more children. So, oh, poor Cassandra. She's so sad. She must feel so guilty. Hugo is terrified of fire still. Tobias just doesn't care, and Osbert is comforting his wife, letting her know, we know it was an accident, you're trying, it's okay, we can fix it. So yeah, that's now the third fireplace stove that they've gone through. And those two just really find each other attractive. And that's where we tuck in until Christmas tomorrow.
Alright, so it is now Christmas morning. Cassandra is up before everybody else, having herself some light breakfast before getting ready for the day. Ida is going to join her, and immediately she is in a bad mood. At least this time nobody else started it. It just was a fireplace. Fire. But at this point it looks like Osbert is so adept and used to having to put out fires that he doesn't even care anymore. he just immediately went right back to eating his breakfast and enjoying the food. And it looks like Ida was just mad because she needed to clean, and she was getting stressed out about the state of the house before people came over. Hugo and Tobias enjoyed some quality time together, seeing if he had any plans for his Christmas, anything that he really wanted. It looks like Tobias is very excited. And then it's time to prep the meal as we wait for everyone to show up. It's gonna be a simple Christmas with some baked apples and a hearty stew. Alright, everyone is here. It's time for the family to get together and celebrate the holidays. Max meeting Cassandra, and then everyone else coming in to join for the meal and have a good family gathering. Definitely not enough seats at the table for everyone, but it's a small room. Sitting on the beds will allow them to still talk with one another. Someone made Cassandra mad. This is her first time meeting some of the family members. She already knew Arnold and Beatrice, but she had not yet met the Mannering household members. And I'm sure they're all a little bit curious, too, to see who Osbert ended up choosing. As their first Christmas together, Osbert made sure to get Cassandra a present. And then he's excited that she liked it. Everybody spending a lot of their time indoors together because, you know, it's the middle of winter. And Cassandra got Tobias something, which he did not like. Better luck next year, Cassandra. And then, while it's nice and warm in the middle of the day, everyone went outside together to play in the snow. There were lots of snowmen being made, some snow angels, and the kids ended up having a bit of a snowball fight with one another, though they weren't as excited about it as I would have expected. Cassandra, already tired and feeling dirty and ready to go inside, but Osbert hanging out with his nephew and his little brother, which, I mean, maybe they don't want to play a lot, but they're hanging out and talking. Ida finally gave Tobias his present, which overall it seems like he's not getting what he wants this year. He hasn't been excited about anything yet. Alma and Milo just hanging out in front of the outhouse, flirting and having holiday chats and jokes. I hate to break it to you guys, but like, while you're having fun, where's your baby? What has he been doing? And then Osbert and Tobias with Hugo. They did not have a happy conversation. Maybe it's time to start wrapping up Christmas. So, the boys went in and immediately started to help clean up. Ida's already asleep. I'm sure Cassandra is off cleaning herself up or using the restroom. Being pregnant, she doesn't hold her bars high very long at all. Yep, she finally brought herself back in the house and had a little bit of a snack. But it looks like she's frustrated or uncomfortable in some way. And she needs a bath, but they can all deal with that in the morning. That ends Christmas for us. The next day, talking about how Christmas was and how happy they are to be together. She's kind of letting Hugo know what her upcoming plans and goals are. Yes, you smell bad, Hugo, and you need a bath. But Ida still loves you and wants to be near you. So Osbert's handling the very small harvest. They didn't get any crops into the actual field in time before the ground froze over, unfortunately. Handling the chores, Tobias and Cassandra are hard at work. There was a lot of eggs to gather, and they have a goose now. They're finally starting to have quite a few animals.
Oh, Osbert came over just to give her a moment of affection. And then immediately Ida wanted to talk. I would think maybe they're talking about different pregnancy plans and hopes, or maybe, what to expect, making sure she knows that she's going to have someone there with her when she goes into labor. Tobias continuing with his chores with Daisy the cow, making sure that she's milked, and all the little chickens and the duck hanging out with them. It is also the end of the year, so it's time to go into town and do a goods sale. While Osbert is trying to... Cassandra wanted to go with him to see how everything was done, but since it's cold and she's very pregnant, she just hung out inside the inn. Osbert is getting a crowd right off the bat this time. Maybe he's starting to get a bit of a reputation for his annual sale, and people want to come and get the honey. Milk is a new addition this year, so we'll see how well that goes. Oh, there goes
And
Cassandra's
let's go
dad
ahead
walking
and
their
do
dog.
Rosa's
Didn't
toddler
even spare
roll.
a sideways glance. And Cassandra
We
coming
got
over to check how it's
a
going.
9.
Over in the Wood household, Rosa had her toddler roll.
Fwizak mob. Zombo. Honil. Habini dermid.
Now she's an adorable little charmer is what she ended up getting for her personality,
Kiranga.
which seems very fitting.
Rishi Bruges.
See her big brother Max coming over to be sweet and hug her. And then where is she gonna go? Probably to see her dad? Oh. Yep, she's gonna have everyone wrapped around her finger. Beatrice and Arnold
Shabula.
being sweet and romantic with each other. Max just wanting to join in and be part of the conversation with them. I'm sure that he adores his parents.
We got a 2. So
Over
Aaron
in
is
the
going to be
Mannering
okay.
household, we had baby Madeline age up to infant, and Aaron's toddler roll.
Ratna Vimba Ibu. Toki. Crimbo Tharg. Naba. Rapna Vimba Ibu.
So now
Inja.
they have another toddler running around the house. By the time we end the year, unfortunately, Ida has also caught scarlet fever and succumbed to it. So she is leaving us. So that is how we ended 1306. In summary, we're going into 1307 with the Walter household expecting Cassandra and Osbert's first child. We have lost Ida to scarlet fever, and we are still waiting on Tobias to recover from his scarlet fever. The loss of Ida means that we were probably going to ask either Beatrice or Alma to come over and help her with her delivery so that she has a little bit less of a risk involved with that. But if we miss that window and they don't get there in time, that could be tricky for her to go into labor all alone. The Woods household, we're still trying to have more children, but they do have, their Rosa and Max, both surviving and thriving and being sweet as can be to everybody. The Mannering household, Alma has her little girl Madeline growing up as we speak, and Erin is a toddler, so she gets to hopefully experience a child in the future, making it past that age. But we won't know what happens until we get there. See you in the next episode.